Well, hi everybody, this is DearMamaSal, and we are live on a Saturday. Hang on 1 second, which means it's time for us to talk about coping with stress. And boy, did I have my fair share of it just before I came on to do the broadcast, and I'll talk about that in a second. But first of all, happy Easter to everybody, and Easter +1 for those of you who are living in Australia. And I just wanted to say that for those of you who maybe are doing Passover rather than Easter, all the best to you all. Whatever it is that you celebrate, have a wonderful moment in time and be grateful for all that we have and all that we are together. And I just really wanted to say that, I've always believed that Easter is a time of great hope. And in such, we need to have hope in each other and in everything that we are able to do, to be grateful for what we can do, not for what we cannot. And so as a very, very warm welcome to you all, I certainly am very grateful for being able to broadcast to you here from my home. I've been here just over a week now, for those of you who might not know. I came back last Thursday, and it's been a chaotic week full of stress. But I am grateful to be here, and I'm grateful to be able to share it with you. I wanted to say that coping with stress is a learned experience, I think, more than anything else. And as I go through this time, I realize how lucky I am to have learned what I have learned, because I think had I not learned what I have learned, I might not have gone through this as well as I did. And of course, without your support. And I really want to thank you all for the incredible support you gave me. Just a quick heads up, I am going for my vaccine, otherwise known as the Dr. Fauci ouchie, this week, and I'm quite excited about that. I'll be doing my blood glucose, A1C, and that all on Wednesday. So I'll be able to let you know how it was for me, and it won't be the same for anybody else. And do I know which one I'm getting? No. I think it's probably going to be the AstraZeneca one, because, the state sent 1.5 million up to Canada, so chances are. So, Jamie's saying she's already got both hers. We're a bit behind the 8 ball here in Canada at the moment, but I am very grateful for the fact that I am about to get my shot. I'll let you know which one I have when I know. I don't know which one it's going to be. So here at DearMamaSal, we are a group of people who get together 3 times a week. It's not just all about me, unfortunately. And what we do is we share our feelings on Friday lunchtime. On Friday evening, we share our coping with life stories. And then again on Sunday, that's like now, we talk about coping with stress and how we've managed our stress. So if any of you have any stress stories that you wish to tell about this week, please let me know so that we can include it in the broadcast. Be prepared and not scared. I just want to give a reminder to all of you that you may want to recheck your pantry and start restocking again. Because I think what happened is everybody started off doing that quite well. But if you haven't sort of checked on it recently, please make sure that you buy whatever you can when you can, because I do believe that the prices will continue to go up, and you will be grateful for the fact that you will have extra stock. Jamie's reporting that she is still getting horrible chills from the second shot that she had. You're not the first person I've heard that from, Jamie, that they had a bit of a reaction from the second shot, not from the first one. So there you go. I wanted to just give you an update. For those of you who were watching on Friday, I was showing you that Lenny the leek had grown roots that were this long, for those of you who were here. And what I decided, because his roots were this long, I actually put him in the garden this morning. And then, of course, I double-checked the weather forecast to find out that it's going to be close to freezing tonight. And so what I did is I cut the bottom off a gallon jug, an empty gallon jug of milk, and I've put that over him so that he's got some protection from the cold. And I'll leave that on for a couple of days until he's had a chance to get his roots firmly established. But like all things, it is it is good to know that it's all an experiment. And, he didn't cost me anything, right? And so I'm very happy, and I will understand if he doesn't make it. Jeannie's saying, they do say that it means that the vaccine is working if you have a reaction to the second shot. Yes, that's a good, very nice, positive way of looking at it. Hi, Rinsky, good to see you. And Rinsky's saying a good idea to protect him. Yes, and I also, as you know, I've got Leo growing. Leo is the backup, and he's growing pretty well. This also came from a leak that came into the house, and he didn't like the journey over here as much, but I will be cutting him off soon and then let him regrow. But this is all fresh growth, so I'm quite happy. I wanted to make a comment about that for those of you who use herbs. How many of you use herbs in your cooking? And the reason that I say this is that I think sometimes people think that, it's such a big deal to grow things or whatever. I really recommend people start growing their own things just because it's good for the soul. And especially with the pandemic going on and everything else, it's so good for your soul to actually nurture and grow something. And what I wanted to show you was that some of you have seen, I actually am growing, these are 2 tomato plants, but I'm growing them in Tetra boxes. And that's, nice and easy. And by the way, I got those ones that are for the Aero Garden just to see how they work. It's a very expensive way of buying seeds, but I just wanted to know. And then what I also did, and this is the point that I wanted to make. You probably got some, champagne flutes that you don't use very often or whatever. What about growing some herbs, just, with a couple of glasses on your windowsill? And so to me, it is all about what can you do. And yes, Jeannie's saying she uses lots of them. Her favorite is tarragon. Exactly. So to me, this is like, think about that. And I would really say that you can buy a little collection of herb seeds, probably, I don't know, you can probably get the complete range for about $20. And my question is, if you spend more than $20 a year on herbs, you might want to consider doing it. And just, every month or so, just seed some more and just grow them in your home. And it's possible to do. You've seen me do it. I actually have, what do I have growing at the moment? Those are tomatoes. Oh, that's parsley, I think. I'm not quite sure what that one is. I know this is a spinach that's starting to grow, and obviously that back there is Corrie the cabbage, the Savoy cabbage. He's doing very well. A lot of the stuff I brought with me didn't like the shift in temperature, of moving. And if you remember, I did say to you, I was prepared to lose the whole lot. And so I'm happy with what I didn't lose rather than what I did. I wanted to also update you. Hi there, Kimmy. I also wanted to update you on something. My new vanity in my new bathroom, if anybody hasn't seen the new bathroom, let me know. But if the new vanity in the bathroom is really strange, the drawers are low down. And, there isn't a drawer at counter level, which is very unusual. It's like you've got the second and third drawers, but, let me not complain. It's new and it works. So what I did was, instead of messing with it, I went, okay, let me think here. What can I do as plan B? All right, because that's how my mind works. So what I did, and I thought I'd share this with you, is I bought some little organizers that I found. I think you get 4 in a set. And I just put my makeup into a couple of them, see, like this. And so now when I want to put my makeup on, I just pull out these 2 and set them up on my vanity. And I use them and the stuff goes back in, and then they just go back in the drawer. And by the way, it's a way cool thing because it keeps my vanity really tidy. And by the way, you're wondering, what did I do with the other 2? Well, there was more crud in my bathroom area that I decided to tidy up. I can't remember what's in them, but there was plenty of opportunity, I can tell you. But I just wanted to show you that it's a really interesting thing. Okay, now then, I've just got confirmation. I want to ask you a what would you do question, all right? Are you all ready for this one? I was 10 minutes out from doing the broadcast when suddenly a warning came up, supposedly from Microsoft, to say there is an infection in your computer. Do not turn this off. If you do, we won't be able to help you. Phone this number immediately so we can help you get rid of the virus. Now, how many of you know that was fairly stressful just 10 minutes before I'm about to do a broadcast? Yes, Kimmy's saying it is a scam. Yes, and I'm pretty aware that it is a scam, but even so, for that split second, it's pretty scary. And that's why I wanted to talk about it. Thanks, Kimmy, for confirming that. So because I've had it before, I know that it's a scam. So what I did was exactly, and by the way, it can jam up your computer so that you can't do anything as well. So what I do, I've got a pretty hefty virus protection in my computer anyway. But what I do is I turn my computer off completely, turn it back on, and then immediately do a full scan on my computer. And what you heard me say was, oh, good, that's just confirmed. I don't know if you heard me say that out loud, but that I have a Bitdefender that protects my computer. And it just came back to tell me that the system is clean. So, and it's taken, what time is it now? It took it 15 minutes to work through everything, but that's good. So I wanted to mention it because if you've never seen it, it could be really scary. And also you could fall for the con. And the con is that they will get you online and they will start asking you for your information, what's your login or how do you get in, all those sort of questions. That if you don't know any better and you think it's Microsoft, you could fall for it. By the way, behind the screen of the red warning thing and everything else, you could see the Microsoft logo, and you could also see the Microsoft Edge, is it? I think it's Edge. But you could see those logos. So, this is very sophisticated, the way that they do it. But it was in the background, behind, and, if you didn't know better, you'd really think it was from Microsoft. So big warning there, be careful, because these people are out and about and trying to mess with you. For those of you who might be new, welcome. By the way, we love it when if you just want to listen in and not necessarily participate, awesome, no problem at all. Just be aware if you do participate in the chit chat in the room, just know that that's normally an open agreement that I may repeat whatever you say. However, if you do say something that I think might be something you don't want to share with the world, remembering that this goes on to the replay, I probably will say to you, are you sure that's okay for me to repeat? So just to give you that information. I would like to say that I had fun going out in my garden today again. You know, the weather is pretty. It's really spring weather. How's it with you? You guys got nice weather for Easter Sunday? And it was just really nice to go out and potter around. It got my hands really dirty, and I just really enjoyed it. By the way, I set up the, you remember the shoe organizer? I've actually put it outside with some plants in it, and I'll take pictures of that for you for next week. Kimmy's saying, it's crazy what these scammers will do and how far they will go to rip you off. Yes, unfortunately, that is so true. Jody's saying it's beautiful weather there in New Hampshire as well. And Jeannie's saying it's cold but clear in Maine. Yeah. So the other thing I wanted to say is, you know, if you're looking for, how many mugs have you got that you don't really use that often? You know, maybe you want to start growing some things in some mugs. And to me, it's all about the fun of it. Don't do it because you want to become a master gardener. Just do it to see if you can. All right. Have you got the ability and the patience and everything else it takes to grow something? And if you have, then you have mastered the art of of staying calm. I said to you, you know, before I left the other house, the temporary housing, that I didn't expect a lot of my garden to actually make it through the move, and that I would be grateful for whatever made it. And that's exactly how I feel. So anything that has died this week, I didn't get upset. I just went, okay, well, I'm sad to see you go, but I was prepared for that to happen. So I don't feel that I did anything terribly wrong. It was just the shock of, you know, going from the nice warm environment and then down into a cold garage and into the car and then getting transported and jiggled around and then, you know, all those things. So to me, it was just like, I was happy for what is. By the way, I have a really nice story for you in the mailbox. Jody, as you all know, or may not know, Jody's birthday was yesterday. And Lionel suggested that he take her out and go and visit a fabric shop, which, you know, Jody really enjoys. But she wasn't really in the mood to do that. And she was sort of, yeah, well, I'm not really sure. But eventually she decided, okay, let's, you know, Lionel wants to take me, so let's go. And she was saying, she said that 3 times she asked to delay the visit, but Lionel said he felt like we needed to go. All right, so I thought that was really cute. Yeah, I've got a lot of time for Lionel, as you know. And they weren't planning on spending more than about 20 minutes in the store, just having a little, you know, window shopping moment. And it was just a lovely story, because what Jody said was that they ended up meeting a lovely customer who was painfully aware that she really needed to talk. And although they kept their social distance, and they did, they literally saw the pictures that she wanted to share. And she was busy beaming about the quilt she had made. And they ended up talking to her for about half an hour, not only about her quilts, but about her son and her granddaughter, and then quilting in general. And Jody's saying, Lionel and I both felt so blessed that we ended up not postponing that visit. The fabric that he gifted me was but one of the blessings of the trip. I wish I had given her my email, and I kept thinking, there are no coincidences. And you know how often I tell you that there are no coincidences. And then Jody finished off by telling me, as we were leaving the store, Lionel said to me, we needed to be here today. And Jody concluded with, I could have cried. And so the message that I want to share with you all, thank you, Jody, first of all, for sharing that birthday story. But the message that I want to share with you is listen to your inner being. It's not all about you. Sometimes the reason we need to get up and get out is not for us, but to make somebody else's day. And Jody, I can imagine what joy that shopper had and how much she probably spent the day telling people about these incredible people that she met. And you really gave a gift of Easter to somebody who obviously desperately needed it. And remember what I say every week is that we create our own stress, but we also create our own happiness. And think about how many things you get involved in that give you stress. And then think about how many things you don't do to minimize your stress. I spent some time this week unpacking things that I wanted to pack. But at the end of it, yesterday, I decided to count how many boxes I got left. And it was still 60 boxes. Some more appeared out of nowhere. I don't know where, because I thought I was below 60, but I'm back to 60 boxes that need to be unpacked. And that's scary when you think about how many boxes. I would think well over 200 boxes have already been unpacked. And so I also took a step this last night to start unwrapping a television set. If you can believe it, I've been here for over a week without a television, haven't missed it. But now I want to unwrap it. And the problem that I've got, I have the opportunity to start again, as you know, right? Because my house was redone. And hang on a second. What I want to show you is, some of you may have seen this before, but I have a very peculiar shaped house. You're busy looking at my kitchen, which is here. And there is a kitchen wall. I wonder if you can see this. There's a kitchen wall here. And then this is the island that you're looking at here. There's a big work island here. And then this is my dining area. And then this is my living area. I've got two facing couches there. Maybe that's a bit out of proportion. We'll forget about that for now. Anyway, so here are my two facing couches. And then on the other side of this wall is my fireplace. And this is where I normally do the Sunday broadcast from, is facing the fireplace. And this is my front door here. And then it goes on to the rest of the house. Well, what I decided was that for the longest time, since when I moved in here, see this any better, I had the television set here on that wall above the fireplace. So I could sit here and work and watch television. So this works really well, but the only way I can do that is to have the television attached to the mantelpiece. And what I found was I couldn't lie on the couch here and watch television because the angle was wrong. And so I made a decision today that that's it. I have ordered up one of those stands that you can put a television on that has wheels on it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but quite honestly, I don't mind, because I now realize that when I do this, when, because I've already ordered it, I will be able to keep it. There's like a little corner section right here. I'll be able to keep it here. I can roll it here right in front of the fireplace if the fireplace isn't on, or I can roll it here and look at it from the couch, or I can wheel it and change the angle of it so that I can watch it while I am while I'm cooking dinner or something. So to me, that was a major step forward and a stress reliever for me. However, do any of you relate to this? But it won't look pretty if anybody comes to visit. Do any of you relate to that sort of thinking? And I want to tell you, when I heard my voice say that, I went, Sal, number one, this is a pandemic time, and who knows if we'll ever go back to visiting each other the way that we used to. And in the meantime, what works for you? Yes, Sandy's saying, I'm over trying to impress others. Yes. And, that's what I just let go of it. And I just went, something that's not important. And if anybody doesn't like it and thinks it looks ugly, that's up to them, on them. The other thing I thought is I've got one television that has Roku on it and the other one doesn't. And I thought, if I get a quick connector for my coaxial cable, I could actually wheel it into the bedroom and then have Roku in the bedroom as well. Right. And Jody's saying, I do relate, but I'm breaking myself of that habit. If it works for me, it's meant to be. Okay, so, excuse me. Sandy's saying Canadian Tire has some carts. Well, I actually just ordered one up from Amazon today. It's already ordered, but thank you. So to me, it's like, do it for me, not for somebody else. But I do like the idea that if it moves pretty easily, and if I can get a quick connector for the coaxial, that's what I've got to try and find. So if anybody knows what that's called, where you don't have to wind it up, where you can just plug it in, that would be great, because then I could just wheel it to the bedroom. For those of you who were not here on Friday, I do now have a bed. Very exciting. And it has all the bells and whistles, and I'm very excited about it. And it does things like you just press a button and it gives me zero gravity. It just goes, and it does its thing. It has USB ports on either side, the bed frame, and it has a massage on the head and on the feet area, two different ones. Really, I'm amazed at it, and I am very happy with it so far. So, major step forward. And the interesting thing was that it ended up costing me half of what I thought it was going to cost me. So I am really very, very happy about that. Anybody got anything that they want to share just before I carry on? Because this is not all about me, and well, most of the time. And the reason that I wanted to talk about some of this is because it's been a very interesting week. But I can't help feeling that this week is the beginning of another period of our lives, right? We've sort of been through the Christmas to Easter time. And so now it's the next part of our lives. And I like the idea that we can start again and go, okay, what do I want to do now? What is it that I would like to do? By the way, I did get some frustration, some stress of frustration. I tried to connect up my silhouette. It's like a cricket cutter, one of those die cutter things. I tried to get that hooked up, and I can't find the right cable yet. I may have to buy another cable. I don't know. Or be patient and wait until the right cable appears. I like this. There was a quote that said, despite the forecast, live like it is spring. So let me ask you, how do you live in spring? What is different about your life in spring? And how does that make you feel? And I want you to be really aware that it's like you get permission to do things in the spring. I am amazed how many times I've been, literally inside, unpacking, doing stuff, and I just stop and I go, Sal, it's a pretty day out there. Why don't you just stop and go walk in your garden for a little while? Have a little chat to the. I've been out to the worm farm. For those of you who remember my worm farm, I've been feeding that quite regularly. Hi, Beth. Good to see you. And it's just like, I think spring gives us permission to be brighter. Do any of you agree? So despite the forecast, live like it's spring. And how about this one? Never yet was a springtime when the buds forgot to bloom. All right, it's just that time of the year. And what are you looking forward to seeing? What are your favorite blossoms in springtime? Because I'm pretty certain everybody has their own. Beth saying, I'm still at work and still dealing with all those bunnies, chocolate and stuffed, and I am over Easter. Yeah. What are you stocking your shelves with now? I always find it amazing because, as fast as one celebration hits us, you're already restocking for the next one, I know. So what is the next one? And Margaret Atwood said, in spring, at the end of the day, you should smell like dirt. And I surely did today. I'm busy trying to clean my nails, ready to do the broadcast, but I had fun. All right, Jodie's saying her favorite blossoms, hydrangea, peony, and irises. Just to let you know that my peonies are looking pretty good. Do I have a hydrangea here? I don't think I do. I had that beautiful candlelight hydrangea at the other house. And irises are starting to grow. My irises are about this big already. So, all right. So Beth, who works at Dollar General, says two things. Number one, summer barbecue she's stocking for now, and summer and swim and summer toys. Isn't that amazing how quickly that shifts? No, and Jody's saying, isn't it time to start the Christmas stuff yet? I don't think she does that until September, end of August. I seem to remember. It was ridiculous what time it was. How about this one? Bishop Reginald Herber said, spring unlocks the flowers to paint the laughing soul. All right. Beth says, I need help. I need a good flowering plant to put in container outside that I don't have to water much. It's in full sun. It's at work. Well, if you're looking for just something, for the summer, I don't know. To me, a rose bush always gives a good bang for the buck, but it really depends on your personal taste. Something like a peony, it only flowers once and then it's gone for the next year. Whereas a rose bush will keep having flowers on it every, you get one of those ones where it continues to have flowers because it'll bloom all the way through until frost. Yeah, and roses are pretty hardy. So, yeah, just check when you go, Beth. When you go to a nursery, and go to a nursery to get them if you can. I would just ask, tell them what you've got, but see what they recommend because they might have a really good suggestion. But to me, you want something that starts blooming now and keeps blooming until October, right? And that's really what you think about. And what a nice idea to have a flowering plant outside your business. I love that. So how about this one? Don't wait for someone to bring you flowers. Plant your own garden and decorate your own soul. So the concern I would have, Beth, is that if you have a rose bush outside, will somebody steal it? And I say that because that's something else you perhaps want to think about. Or do you get, a couple of fake cedar trees or something, cedar bushes that you can bring in at night, when you lock out? Yeah, bougainvillea though, I got a feeling where Beth is, I always think bougainvillea is can be difficult in some environments. Of course, they grew wild in Africa, but yeah. Anyway, so I'm certain I would go and talk to somebody who really knows their stuff. I'd go and have spend half an hour talking to your local nursery and see what they come up with. But again, how are you going to stop somebody stealing it? I would think get something where you can, put it on wheels. Get a pot, but have the pot on wheels so you can just push it back into the store at night, so that nobody steals it. I don't know why that's a concern for me. I love spring, Ruth Stout said. I love spring anywhere. If I could choose, I would always greet it in a garden. And I, again, encourage you to do what you can to create a garden this year, however small. As I said, I don't care whether it's a little herb garden made out of wine glasses. Do something just to bring that wonder into your life. Paul Flatt said, the resurrection gives my life meaning and direction and the opportunity to start over no matter what my circumstances. For those of you who are celebrating Easter Sunday from a religious perspective, this is a glorious day. It is a day of wonderment and a day of great joy. And I would say that for those of you who are strong Christian believers, I am sure that the resurrection gives you life and gives your life meaning and direction. And it is time to give thanks and be grateful. And S. Brown said, the first blooms of spring always make my heart sing. And it doesn't matter which ones you enjoy. For those of you who love the apple blossoms or the cherry blossoms or whatever it is that you enjoy, make sure that you take the time to enjoy them, because we're not out as much as we used to be. And so I would make a point of, let's just take a drive and see what is flowering, all right, or what is starting to flower that we need to come back and see in a couple of weeks. And I would definitely make those choices. I think it's wonderful, Jody, that Lionel took you out to go shopping on your birthday, all right, just to get you out of the house and get some fresh air and fresh faces. And I think it's a wonderful thing that he did. And I would say that, that friend of yours who lends you the car to do that is a very, very kind person. Anne Lamotte said, I'm going to try and pay attention this spring. I'm going to look around at all the flowers and look up at the hectic trees. I'm going to close my eyes and listen. How many of you have heard birdies sing? I was out in my garden and I am pretty sure that I heard little birdies making a racket. And that was just so exciting. I just thought, boy, I don't know where you are, but I can hear you. How about this one? I don't know who said it, but bunnies are cuddly, the large and the small. But I like the chocolate ones best of all. Hi, Autumn. It was a beautiful day where you are as well. Oh, I'm so glad. And the twins got to celebrate their first Christmas. Whether they know what it is or not yet, doesn't matter. It's still their first, their first Christmas, their first Easter. And to me, it's these firsts, they'll never come again, Autumn. They're never going to have that first Easter again. But by the time they get their second one, they probably are going to want to find Easter eggs by then, right? How about this one? E. E. Cummings said, always it's spring and everyone's in love and flowers pick themselves. And Longfellow, Henry Wordsworth Longfellow said, 'twas Easter Sunday and the full blossom trees filled the air with fragrance and with joy. Hi there, Jonas. Good to see you. Happy Easter to you as well. And again, I don't know who said it, but it said, spring, a lovely reminder how beautiful change can truly be. By the way, I had some stress this week when I opened up my shed and I have a feeling that the roof to my shed is possibly leaking. And I decided, I don't want to deal with that this week. And I just shut the door because it's like, no, I've got enough going on without dealing with that. And I did think, I wonder whether it happened when they were power washing the house, maybe. But I will go back there on a sunny day this week and open it up and maybe take some plastic bags with me and protect some stuff just in case. And also see how bad it is. How many of you agree that sunshine is the best medicine? How many of you feel better just for seeing the sunshine? That you feel brighter and lighter and more willing to do things? And all the flowers of all the tomorrows are in the seeds of today. Very important that you understand that it is up to us to plant the seeds. Whether it's the seeds of friendship, whether it's the seeds of our herb garden, whether, it's up to us to plant the seeds. If we don't plant the seeds, we cannot expect growth. How about this one? Jen Selinsky said, the promise of spring's arrival is enough to get anyone through a bitter winter. How many of you feel a little bit more encouraged about the pandemic just because it's spring? And hopefully that the number of cases will start going down again. And, I look at it, it was really weird. We have the opposite happening here in my part of the world where they've just shut down restaurants again because we've had a surge. And, that's probably due to spring break as well. You can't control everybody. And the trick is, just be careful, everybody. Be careful. Charles Schulz of Peanuts fame said, all I really need is love. But a little chocolate now and then doesn't hurt. I think that's so cute. Rinsky's saying not only the seeds, but we have to make sure the soil is taken care of too. Our seeds cannot grow if it's not good soil. Okay, so Rinsky, understand where I'm coming from on this one. Have you ever walked down a pavement, a sidewalk, and seen a seed manage to grow between the cracks in a pavement? You know, I love seeing that. You know, the one plant that said, I don't care how bad the soil is, I'm going to grow right here. And I do experiments. Okay. So this little bit of bok choy isn't growing in earth at all. It is attaching itself. Oops. It is growing on just wet paper towel. You see, the funny thing is, it's not even paper towel. It's a piece of toilet tissue. You know, sometimes you don't need good soil. Sometimes you just need to want it to grow. And so to me, it's never about perfection. It's about, I've just, by the way, I took some grape tomatoes yesterday, and I cut them in half and I just squished them onto paper towel overnight. And then this morning I took the skin off and it just left the seeds there. And, you know, some of them I will let the seeds dry and then just keep them. And I think I did 3, and the one I actually put a little bit of soil over it so that it can, you know, start to grow. But, you know, it's all a big experiment with me, as you know. And Janine de Giovanni said, Easter is meant to be a symbol of hope, of renewal, and of new life. And I encourage you to have dreams again. It's been a long, hard winter of the pandemic. So let's dream of better times again. And what are you looking forward to doing this summer? Let's hope that by the summer that we will be vaccinated enough to start being able to enjoy each other a little bit more. Charles Wesley said, Christ the Lord is risen today. Sons of men and angels say, raise your joys and triumphs high. Sing, ye heavens, and earth reply. And how about this? Wherever life plants you, bloom with grace. I had no sense that my life was going to suddenly take that huge turn with the fire, or neither did Jeannie. By the way, I wonder where she is today. Anyway, you know, we didn't plan to have fires in our houses, but you know, that's what life gave us, and that's what we deal with. And you know, as Jody said in her note to me, there are no coincidences, right? I still believe that there is some good in what happened in the fire. All right, it took 6 months of my life, and I was saying to somebody yesterday, I am 60 boxes away from being roughly where I was 6 months ago. So you understand, I cannot catch that 6 months back again. All I can do is keep working towards getting to that stage. And Mulan said that the flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all. You've all been through difficult times, and sometimes we grow exponentially because of that. I always think about Jody having cancer and then beating cancer and then finding out she had lymphedema. This was like, I cannot imagine that roller coaster. And then deciding that she wanted to live. That was pretty impressive. And now, that she's prepared to go through surgery to help control her weight. All these things are major choices for somebody that a couple of years ago didn't think she was going to make it at all. It's wonderful. In the Gospel according to Peter, it was said that it is his great mercy he has given us new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. In his great mercy, he has given us new birth into a living hope. This is our job now, to be hopeful. Jeannie's saying, I went to Holy Saturday Mass, was a lector, a few persons were there. It seemed shocking, but Mass was lovely and much more brief than usual. All right, so, but this is the whole thing. I think a lot of people now are choosing to do, Mass at home as best they can. And Jody is saying, Sal, I couldn't have done it without your help. You inspired me and have been holding my hand through the ups and downs. Well, Jody, that's our job, right? As friends. All right? That's what friends do. I got a note from Benji's daddy, Gramps, wrote me a note yesterday, and he was saying that the steps I've been doing, the marathon steps every week, inspired him to get his gym put together again and start working out. And he actually said, I thank you because you inspired me to do that. And I thought, isn't that funny? Because I originally started to do that to support him in something he was trying to do. So it's strange, isn't it? This is a really cute saying. Listen carefully. I'm so excited for spring. I think I wet my plants. And how about this one? Blessed are those who have not seen and have yet believed. That comes from John. But isn't that true? Blessed are those who have not seen but yet believed. And so you look at this time of Easter and of hope and think about how fortunate we are. Ginny's saying we did a virtual Mass for about a year and now feel strong enough to attend more often. Yes, I wonder if anybody else is feeling that as well. I wanted to give you a tip for the day that I was thinking about. My comfort food is to have a steak with caramelized onions, and I really don't have it all the time, but every now and then that's what I crave, and I can do without the fries now, but I do still need that steak, and I love the caramelized onions. And I did a little experiment this week just to see the difference. If I had bought just a piece of steak, it would have cost me $11 Canadian for AAA beef. And the interesting thing is that was a piece of beef about this big. Okay. And then that was sirloin. And what I did was I decided how much would it cost me to buy a tri-tip of sirloin. You know, it's the end of it. And how much would I get? I found out that I could buy the whole roast of sirloin for $35, and that worked out $1.54 Canadian for 100 grams. Okay, Jody, can you do a conversion for me while I just talk more? Now, let me just tell you the difference. Buying just one steak would have worked out at $2.26 for the same 100 grams. So again, think about buying in bigger amounts and then cutting up. So what I'm going to do is to buy the sirloin roast and then cut it into steaks for myself. Make sense? And that is a huge cost saving. Basically half the price. Hi, Jonas. Jonas is saying, Jody is saying, we attend online mass and will continue to do so for the foreseeable future. It's still too risky for both Lionel and myself. So Jonas is saying, just when you get to a place when you feel you're safe and stable, life finds a way to knock you over and test your resilience again and again. But that is how we grow. And we cannot grow if we cling to the person we were before the pain. All right, so 100 grams is 0.22 pounds. All right, so the point is that it costs half the price to buy it in a bigger amount. Yes, and Rinsky's saying what we've said time and time again. Rinsky's saying, I'm happy that we're living in times when we can attend church online. Yes, I mean, our technology has made so many things possible. And so you don't have to feel, do any of you feel though that it's not the same? Or do you feel that as long as you are attending it, however you attend it, it is the same? You see, and that's the thing that I want to give you a sense of, that sometimes we get so picky that, well, it's not the same if we're not physically there. No, it is different, but it doesn't make it worse. I think if you are still a believer, then it still has its value. Rinsky saying, I don't feel connected to the people at church now. I used to volunteer and I miss the bonding in that. Yes, very good point. Jeannie's saying, I bought a small half-spiral ham, but it was still about 9 pounds. After dinner, I made packages for the freezer, kept some for the refrigerator, and finally wrapped up the bone meat for soup. It's awesome. You see, and so you got really big bang for your buck on that spiral ham. Jody says that she feels it's the same. You know, if she can attend mass virtually, it's, you know, it's really important because, Jody, you're physically more unlikely to be able to attend in the near future. So this is awesome that you can get that joy. Kimmy's saying, I'm still wearing my mask, distances going and staying home too. Yes, I think that Kimmy's saying it isn't the same for her. I think if you can understand that, I believe that God is a forgiving God, and I do believe that in all of this, it is better to attend virtually than not to attend at all. And so therefore, think about that. How about this? Can words even describe the fragrance of the very breath of spring? That delicious commingling of the perfumes of the arbutus, the odors of the pines, and the snow-soaked soil just warming up into life. Isn't that a beautiful picture? In springtime, love is carried on the breeze. Watch out for flying passion or kisses wisping by your head. Spring won't let me stay in this house any longer. I must get out and breathe the air again deeply. Yes, Kimmy's saying it isn't the same, but we can go on and make it better. Well done. And Jodi's saying, I am grateful to have the option. If there are people that otherwise wouldn't be able to attend for physical reasons and have nothing to do with the pandemic, it's a way to participate. And it doesn't mean their experience is any less valid. I agree. Jeannie's saying last night I had to remove my mask going up and down the altar steps or I would have fallen, and then put my mask back on in the pew. My glasses cloud up a lot. Yes. So, you look at it, hi Leah, you look at it all and go, let's do the best we can and be so grateful for that. How about this one? Spring has come when you can put your foot on 3 daisies. Fond memories of making daisy chains, anybody? And how many of you relate to this one? With the coming of spring, I am calm again. When spring comes, even the false spring, there were no problems except where to be the happiest. Hi, Black Magic. And yes, Easter egg. How many of you got an Easter egg today? If you remember last year, there was a mysterious Easter bunny that visited all the houses in the community here. I went looking today to see if they came back this year, but they didn't. I was quite sad. Autumn saying, I really appreciate the online church services. It is nearly impossible right now in my season of life. I do miss going in person, though. And Jody's going, yes, daisy chains. Thank you for that smile. Yeah, I just, to me, it's a fun memory. And Erin, hi, Erin. Always a pleasure to see you. Erin saying me, I love going to church online now. Yeah, I think we've learned a new way of going to church. And so, hi, Ace, good to see you as well. So you look at it and you go, be grateful for all that we can do. How about this? Spring is beautiful and smells sweet. Spring is when you shake the curtains, you pound on the rugs and take off your long underwear and wash in all the corners. How about this one? Finally, my winter fat is gone. I now have spring rolls. Why Why do I like that one? Jeannie saying, I'm glad to see the pics of little granddaughter Lucille on an Easter egg hunt. She was dressed all in purple. Yeah, isn't that cute? It's spring fever, and that's what the name is. And when we've got it, you want it. Oh, I don't quite know what it is that you want, but it just fairly makes your heart ache. You want it so. How many of you just love the feeling of spring? And now, as every field is clothed with grass and every tree with leaves, now the woods put forth their blossoms, and the year assumes in gay attire. And how about this? Some old-fashioned things like fresh air and sunshine are hard to beat. Yeah. And this one, yeah, Erin's saying she couldn't go before. And so to be able to attend services online is just such a gift for her. And Kimmy's saying it's time to deep clean. What are you planning to deep clean this week? The first day of spring is one thing, and the first spring day is another. The difference between them is sometimes as great as a month. You know, and again, I think so much of it is in our minds, right? For some reason, God has gifted us with beautiful weather at the moment, and it is really pretty. And it's still, there's a chill in the air, but it is just something about the fact that the sun is out that makes it all so much better. Rinsky's saying, I hope after this is all over, they continue the online church services for people who cannot physically come or choose not to physically come. Yes. And I believe that we will have learned a great deal about I don't know how many congregations grew because of that ability. I don't know if any of you have any information about your local community. But I am certain that for some churches, their attendance probably went up because of the online facility. How about this? Hello, spring. We missed your green grass, your warm sunshine, and your beautiful flowers. And oh, spring, I want to go out and feel you and get inspiration. My old things seem dead. I want fresh contacts and vital searching. Yeah. I cannot tell you, just to go out and dig up some weeds is such a pleasure at the moment. It's like, yeah, I can do that. Get my hands dirty. Why is that such fun? Yeah, really. Why is that such fun? I just don't know. And I know that Benji was telling me that he had gone to the nursery and got some stuff from the nursery. And I said, yes, so did I. It's like if you are that sort of person, this is a wonderful time of year. How about this one, spring? The music of open windows. How many of you have opened up your windows to the spring? I have, a great believer. I go out every day and I leave the doors open. Yes, I know that it means the heating kicks in and it's trying to heat the outside world, but I just want that fresh air to get into my house. And so when I go to play in the garden, I just open up my one of my sliding doors and I leave it wide open for the time that I am playing. And then when I come back, I know I've got fresh air in the house. Kimmy's saying, I don't understand how people can go to functions. It will make the pandemic worse. Kimmy, none of us can understand why millions of people went on spring break without masks, but they did. And for sure, that made the pandemic far worse because all those people went back from Florida to their various towns across the states and spread those germs back in their communities. So, yeah, it is very difficult to understand. How about this? Can words describe the fragrance of the very breath of spring? Rinsky said, I saw a cat poo in my vegetable garden. I haven't replanted for this year yet. And it's going to be, is it going to be like fertilizer or do I need to clean it out before planting? Really? What if you hadn't seen it? You see, I think sometimes we get grossed out because we saw it. But, you know, my feeling is, you know, if you are grossed out by it, then remove it. Or dig a very deep hole and then put it in and then, you know, cover it with earth. And the reason is, of course, it's fertilizer, yes. And Chris is in Florida. Yeah. Chris, I keep thinking about your incredible effort to get your A1C down. And, you know, to go from 11 to halve it is just amazing to get down to 5.5. How many months did that take you? And your doctor must be so proud of you. How about this? Spring is the time of year when it's summer in the sun and winter in the shade. Isn't that true? When it's summer and when you're in the sun, but it feels like winter if you're in the shade. I'm glad you're enjoying them, Rinsky. Spring makes its own statement, so loud and clear that the gardener seems only to be the only one of the instruments, not the composer. Yeah, I think for those of us who are gardeners, we feel, you know, like, can I do this fast enough? Things are growing so quickly now. Kim is saying, my town is having functions and not wearing masks or distancing. It is like nothing is happening to these people here. Really? And I am sure that there are other places like that. And I want to tell you that on the same scale, we know that there are towns, for example, where Sandy lives, all right, they're having tremendous problem containing the virus. Ontario's having bad trouble here in Canada. So, you know, it's like some people just are not, they think it's all a hoax. They don't think it's real. And they won't think it's real until they end up in ICU. Or they lose a close friend or a relative. And that is so sad, but it is also true. I am actually glad to be of my age because I've noticed in the community where I live, where everybody is about my age, you know, they are so aware and so respectful. And it's actually safer to be around these people than it is to be around young people, I think. And what do you guys think? The spring wakens us, nurtures us, and revitalizes us. How often does your spring come? If you are a prisoner of a calendar, it comes but once a year. If you are creating authentic power, it comes frequently or very frequently. We can spring into action. We can have that feeling of spring whenever we choose to have it. And some of us wake up with it every morning, regardless of what the weather is doing. Break open the cherry tree, and there are no flowers, but the spring breeze brings forth a myriad of blossoms. Isn't it amazing when you see those cherry blossoms? I love spring anywhere, but if I could choose, I would always greet it in the garden. Youth is like spring, an overpraised season more remarkable for biting winds than genial breezes. Isn't that true? But yet we love it so. If people did not love one another, I really don't see what the use there would be in having any spring. How many of you can remember falling in love at springtime? And how about this? A life without love is like a year without spring. In springtime, love is carried on the breeze. So true. And spring makes the world a happy place. You see a smile on every face, and flowers come out and birds arrive. Oh, isn't it grand to be alive? And the spring arose on the garden fair, like the spirit of love is felt everywhere, and each flower and herb on earth's darkest breast rose from the dreams of its wintry rest. Hush, can you hear it? The rustle of the grass, bringing you the welcome news that winter's day has passed. Soft, can you feel it? The warm caressing breeze telling you that the sticky buds are bursting on the trees. Look, can you see them? The promise in the lane. Now you must believe it. The spring is here again. The final throes of winter fade, and the life again renewed. The chilling bite of winter's blade is broken by the spring's light dew. And now light touches once again all things beautiful and green, while blossoms bloom with brilliant reds and fragrant flowers make the scene. Quiet brooks flow ever on with melted snow as fuel to quench the thirst of the newborn fawn and haste the life's great renewal. The naked earth is warm with spring, and the green grass and bursting trees leans to the sun's kiss glorifying and quivers on the sunny breeze. April's air stirs in willow leaves, a butterfly floats and balances. The naked earth is warm with spring, and with green grass and bursting trees, it leans to the sun's kiss, glorifying the quivers on the sunny breeze. And here is the good news, all right? Come the spring with all its splendor, all the birds and all the blossoms, all the flowers, the leaves and grasses. Ho, while it is spring, and enjoy the best anticipations. It's not much matter if things don't turn out well. Remember what I said, I plant seeds and nurture them because it gives me joy. I am not tied into they all have to survive. Oh, thank you, Jody. Jody's saying, that's so beautiful, Sal. I went on a visual journey with that verse. Thank you. It was a little long, but, you know, it's just like every now and then I like to try to do something like that. So here we are. It is April. Did anybody get caught in an April Fool's joke this year? And how do you feel about April Fools generally? I find that as I get older, I don't enjoy them as much. Why is that? When I was in my 20s, I loved April Fool's jokes. You know, I really did. But for some reason, not so much when I get older. Interesting. And what plans do you have to brighten up your week? What is it that you're looking forward to doing? I'm looking forward to actually getting a television to work, if it's possible. And the good news is if I can't do it on my own, I will call somebody to come and help me. I am looking forward to getting a few more boxes unpacked. My goal is to unpack 2 a day. And if I continue to do that, I will be unpacked by the end of the month, completely unpacked. And that would be farther ahead than I was 6 months ago. And so that is my goal, is to unpack 2 boxes each day so that I can know at the end of April, I am farther ahead than I was in September. Because if you remember, in September, I still had all the boxes in the studio to unpack. So that is my goal. And, you know, I look around and things have not been put away yet, but they will. I find what I do is I unpack 2 boxes and I put everything all over the place. And then as I go about my day, I just put a couple of things away here and a couple of things away there. And then normally by the end of the day, I've got most of it put away if I have a place for it. And so I'm quite pleased with it. Seems to work quite well. Jody's saying this week I'm working out a pattern for a fabric basket. Ooh, that would be pretty. Yeah. I am so enjoying my shower. For those of you who have seen pictures of my awesome shower. And even though I don't have the right shower head and everything else, there's something about walking into that shower that really does change my life. You know, the fact that I can just so easily open that door and walk in and turn the shower on and be standing there and not get wet yet. You know, if I don't, wait for the water to warm up. And then when I'm ready, I can walk into the water. It is just an amazing feeling. And Kimmy's saying, I'm looking forward to make myself go outside. Yeah, it's something that you can consciously do, and you will feel better for doing it. Of that, I'm pretty sure. Jenny says, I'm so thankful that my husband is better, that our homecoming is getting closer, and that my spring allergies are not too bad. Yes, you'll be going back in May, I believe, right? So that's not very far away. A lot of decisions have to be made before then, I'm sure, Jane. So my sense is that you are going to be making a lot of things. Tell me something. Is there anything that you will miss about your temporary accommodation? And because that's what I did the months before I moved back here, I actually took the time to sit down and go, what will I miss from here? And then I went about making sure. One of the things was the folding. Hang on. The temporary housing had this folding it's difficult to do with one hand, so okay. Dryer for plates and things where you just want to rinse off. Boy, that is so useful. And not only that, I find that I can drop vegetables in there and use it as, and then rinse it all off, and it just acts as a colander as well. So I really... I liked it so much, I made sure I bought one to bring home with me. Oh, it's going to be June now, Jean's saying, not May. Okay. All right, so she's saying, we enjoyed the clubhouse goodies, like good coffee, pot chips and contests. Yes, potato chips, okay. It's remember the things that you enjoyed and take them back into your life in some way. And we are all so happy that you are in this final phase and that you will be able to go home. And I can, in a way. I'm saying I cannot imagine what that will feel like for you. I'm pretty sure that, like me, there will be moments of great joy and moments when, it's so warm in here. Moments of great joy, Jean, but also there'll be some moments where you have sadness. And I think that's normal. And that's what I wanted to say to you is be prepared for both, because I do believe that is normal. I am so happy on so many levels, and every now and then I see something and I'm a little bit sad. And I am just saying that's perfectly okay and quite human. It was a very difficult 6 months, and it's okay to have feelings, right? And it's okay to miss some of the things that I will never be able to replace. So be grateful and have hope that as you start again, you will have a very safe house. I want to say that's one of the things, Jenny, that I really am aware of. My house is a lot safer today than it was 6 months ago, even though I didn't know it was unsafe. And so that makes me very happy. It'll be a whole year for you. Yes, you've had a long time. But you've been warm and you've been, I think, in fairly nice accommodation from what I gather. And for that, we are forever grateful. And again, I would say to everybody, make sure that you are insured to be able to be adequately accommodated in the event of something terrible happened. Even if you don't own the house, it's like, what happens if, are you aware if something happened to your rented apartment, if you happen to rent a house or an apartment, do you know what happens in the case of a fire? Are you accommodated in any way? I think I would be checking that out now, more so than I would have done before. Yes, and Jenny is saying that, of course, she had a very nice apartment and was able to take her dog. And your dog is a fairly large-sized dog. It's not a little ankle biter. It's a decent-sized dog. And so that is amazing that you were able to do that. I'm so happy for you. And I'm sure Misty wasn't quite sure what happened, but Misty's going to enjoy getting home as well. Although all the smells are going to be so new. Yeah, Misty's going to spend a month just, I can just see her. What happened to my house? Yeah, she's a medium size, 30 pounds. Yeah. Unlike Bean, who was over 80 pounds. I think he was 85 pounds. And the thing about Bean was he was 5 feet from nose to tip of the tail. Can you believe that? 5 feet. He could stand on my shoulders and no problem at all. He was such a great dog. I miss him so much. So everybody have an awesome week. Enjoy this week more than any other. Enjoy this week for all that it brings us all. For it is a new week for us all, and it is a new chance for us all to do the things we want to do, not the things other people want us to do. And I say that because, like I was saying, I'm getting, something to hold my television set that won't look great for other people, but it will serve me better. I was saying on Friday, think about the things that you need to do for you, not the things that you need to do for other people. And so as we move into this week, wish me luck on my 2 boxes a day. I haven't done any today. Can I start tomorrow? No, because then I'll need to do 3 boxes. All right, so that's what I'm going to be doing. And yes, no dinner tonight because the restaurants are closed, but I will be going over to my neighbor behind me here. Tomorrow for dinner, we're having spiral ham dinner. And I've had a request to bring my mac and cheese, which I've never taken anything over to the dinner there, but she actually has allowed me to bring mac and cheese. So I'm going to bring that to go with the ham. So I better start cooking, people. This is DearMamaSal saying, thank you all for being here for each other, for turning up and being prepared to just think about things like, isn't it wonderful to have Easter again? Aren't we lucky when we think of all the people who, because of the pandemic, didn't get to see it again? And I am so grateful that we have, for the large part, remained unscathed by the pandemic, and may we stay that way. Continue, please, to be very careful, more so, if anything. And please look after yourself ahead of anybody, and then look after other people. It's really important that if you're not looking after yourself, you may not be able to look after other people. This is DearMamaSal saying, it is my joy to be home and to be with you. This week, I will concentrate on clearing up the the fireplace room. You all know what that is. That's where I normally do the Sunday broadcast. It is my goal to be able to do the Sunday broadcast from there. I won't necessarily have pictures put up yet, but I want to get the boxes that are in there and to just be able to say to you, okay, we're one step closer. So that is my goal. And maybe even show you my rolling television set. How about that? That would be a good goal, wouldn't it? I think it's that the stand's going to arrive, and I don't think it's that difficult to put together. Men do it. And, if I need to ask for help, I guess I will. This is DearMamaSal saying, love you dearly. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you on Friday. Bye-bye for now.